Let me say this loud and clear. You are not difficult, demanding, or too much. You're just a woman who refuses to shrink to fit spaces that were never meant for her. Too often, women are taught to wait for permission to be chosen, validated, or told they're enough. But here's the truth. Your worth isn't up for negotiation, and it certainly doesn't need approval from anyone else. Claiming your worth means owning every part of who you are, your talents, your flaws, your past, your dreams without apology. It's about stepping into rooms like you belong there, even if you're the only one who looks, thinks, or speaks like you do. It's recognizing that you bring something valuable to the table, even if others haven't realized it yet. You don't need to shrink to make others feel comfortable. You don't need to accept less because it's better than nothing. You are not meant for scraps, you are meant for excellence. This kind of confidence doesn't come overnight. It comes from doing the inner work, healing from what broke you, learning from your mistakes, and refusing to let anyone define you. It comes from setting boundaries, saying no to what drains you, and yes to what fulfills you. Most importantly, it's about believing in your own potential, even when the world hasn't caught up yet. When you truly claim your worth, you stop chasing things that were never meant for you. You start walking with purpose. You begin to attract people, opportunities, and energy that align with your values and your vision. And when something doesn't feel right, you no longer ask, "Am I being too much?" Instead, you ask, "Is this enough for the woman I am becoming?" Because when a woman claims her worth, she stops settling and starts leading, and that is a force the world cannot ignore. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that playing small doesn't serve anyone. Not herself, not those around her, and certainly not the world she's meant to impact. To refuse to shrink means to reject the idea that you must hide your intelligence, mute your voice, or compromise your truth to make others comfortable. You weren't made to fit into a mold, you were made to break it. From an early age, many women are conditioned to be agreeable, soft-spoken, and accommodating. We're taught that strength can be intimidating, that ambition might be unattractive, that independence should come with an apology. But those are outdated narratives. The world doesn't need smaller women. It needs women who stand tall in who they are, unapologetically, boldly, and fiercely. When you refuse to shrink, you choose to show up fully, whether you're the only woman in the room or one of many. You take up space with your ideas, your energy, your presence. You stop editing yourself to fit someone else's comfort zone. You stop diluting your passion just to appear easier to handle. And most importantly, you stop asking for permission to be exactly who you are. There is strength in your voice, brilliance in your mind, and fire in your spirit. You are allowed to be confident. You are allowed to lead. You are allowed to say, "This is what I want," without guilt. The people who matter won't be threatened by your fullness. They'll be inspired by it, so take up space, speak your truth, laugh loudly, dream big. Refusing to shrink isn't arrogance. It's self-respect. And when you choose to stand in your fullness, you light the path for every other woman who's still learning how. Having standards doesn't make you difficult. It makes you clear. In a world that often praises compromise over conviction, holding firm to your values can be seen as intimidating. But there is nothing wrong with expecting respect, honesty, consistency, or ambition from the people you allow into your life. You are not asking for too much. You are asking the right people to rise. The truth is, your standards are a reflection of how deeply you respect yourself. They protect your peace, your time, and your energy. They are the boundaries you set not to shut people out, but to filter out what isn't aligned with your growth. When you lower them out of fear of being alone or misunderstood, you send a message to the world, and to yourself, that you are willing to accept less than you deserve. That's a heavy price to pay for temporary company or surface-level validation. You don't have to apologize for walking away from people who don't show up for you, for declining opportunities that don't align with your purpose, or for expecting more from relationships, careers, and life. If someone tells you your standards are too high, what they're really saying is, "You make me uncomfortable because I can't meet them." That's not your problem to fix. Having standards doesn't mean you're inflexible. It means you know what aligns with your worth. And the right people, those who truly respect and value you, will never ask you to lower them. They'll meet you there or they'll elevate with you. So keep your standards high and your heart open. You are not here to settle. You are here to thrive, And that starts with refusing to apologize for the level of life you know you're meant for. There is immense strength in knowing when to walk away, not out of weakness, but out of self-respect. It takes courage to let go of what no longer serves you, especially when you've invested time, emotion, or hope into something or someone. But staying in a situation that drains your energy or compromises your worth does not make you loyal. It makes you stuck. Walking away is not quitting, it's choosing yourself. It's recognizing that your peace matters more than proving a point or fixing something that was never yours to carry. Whether it's a toxic relationship, a dead-end job, or a friendship that constantly takes without giving, choosing to step away is an act of power. It's not about anger or bitterness, it's about clarity. It's knowing you deserve more than being tolerated, ignored, or undervalued. There will be voices, sometimes your own, that try to convince you to stay a little longer, hold on a little tighter, but deep down, you already know the truth. When your soul is exhausted, when you're constantly second, guessing your worth, when your boundaries are repeatedly disrespected, it's time. Walking away creates space for healing, for growth, for the right opportunities and relationships to come in. It's not easy, but neither is staying in something that slowly erodes your confidence. You're not obligated to remain in places where you are not celebrated, appreciated, or genuinely loved. Life is too short to keep convincing people of your value. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is to simply turn the page and start a new chapter where you are the priority, not the afterthought. Honor yourself enough to know when it's time to go. Let go with grace. Leave with your head held high, because sometimes walking away is the first step toward walking into everything you truly deserve. Setting boundaries is not about building walls. It's about drawing lines that protect your energy, time, and emotional well-being. It's one of the most powerful acts of self-love you can practice. Boundaries aren't selfish, they're necessary. They teach others how to treat you, and more importantly, they remind you of what you will and won't accept in your life. Too often, women are praised for being accommodating, for always saying yes, for putting others' needs ahead of their own. But there is nothing noble about running on empty to keep others comfortable. Your worth is not measured by how much you endure. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to protect your peace without explaining yourself. When you set boundaries, you're not pushing people away. You're making room for healthy relationships. The ones who truly respect you will understand and honor those lines. The ones who get upset by your boundaries are the ones who benefited from you having none. It's okay to disappoint people. It's okay if not everyone understands. You are not here to be everything to everyone. You are here to honor your needs, your values, and your truth. That requires courage, that requires clarity, and it demands that you stop watering dead plants just to avoid conflict. Setting boundaries boldly means standing firm, even when your voice shakes. It means choosing discomfort over resentment, and it means loving yourself enough to protect your space from anything that doesn't uplift, respect, or serve your growth. Remember this, your life is your responsibility. You get to decide what stays, what goes, and what never gets in. And when you do that with confidence and conviction, you reclaim your time, your energy, and your power. Living unapologetically means showing up as your full, unfiltered self in a world that constantly asks you to tone it down. It's refusing to shrink, dim, or adjust who you are to fit into someone else's comfort zone. When you live unapologetically, you stop editing your personality, hiding your ambitions, or apologizing for wanting more. This isn't about arrogance, it's about authenticity. It's about owning your story, your scars, your voice, and your dreams without guilt. You don't need to justify your goals, your choices, or your presence. You're allowed to take up space, to speak loudly, to be soft and fierce at the same time. Your power lies in your ability to be exactly who you are, without seeking validation or permission. Living this way will sometimes make others uncomfortable. That's okay. You weren't put here to meet everyone's expectations. You were put here to live a life that feels right to you. Whether that means chasing bold dreams, setting non-traditional goals, or redefining what success looks like, do it without apology. It also means embracing your imperfections. You are not a project to be fixed. You are a whole, evolving, powerful woman. Every time you choose to be honest instead of agreeable, bold instead of quiet, and ambitious instead of safe, you create space for others to do the same. Your unapologetic presence gives others permission to stop hiding. And that ripple effect, that's where real change begins. So take the risk, raise your voice, wear the outfit, launch the idea, walk into every room knowing you belong there without shrinking, without explaining, and without saying sorry for being exactly who you are. Because the world needs more women who live out loud, and you are more than enough as you are.